Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are y'all doing? It's Wanda. This is in relation to hashtag natural sugar. First of all, I want to say thank you for everybody who watches my content, and make sure I'm gonna get this out the way. Make sure that you like, share, and comment on my videos. I love feedback. I want the feedback because I need to know where I need to improve as a new YouTuber. Um, Okay, this right here is for educational purposes only. I it says, do sweeteners increase appetite? Popular sweetener sucralose should be tricking to the brain. Hold on. Hold on. I'm not editing this video. I'm not. Okay, from sweets and soft drinks to sandwich spreads and breakfast cereals, sucralose is used in over 6,000 products worldwide, making it one of the most popular artificial sweeteners on the market. And such is its success. The global sucralose market is now valued at $3.73 billion. But rather than helping consumers to lose weight by replacing high calorie sugar, some researchers believe it could be contributing to the obesity epidemic by tricking the brain into thinking it's still hungry. A new study conducted by researchers at the Yale School of Medicine reveals that consuming sucralose activates the hypothalamus more than sugar does. The hypothalamus is the part of the brain that helps regulate appetite and body weight. The research published in Nature Metabolism also found that sucralose changes how the hypothalamus interacts with other brain areas, including those involved in motivation. And then it asks, do sweeteners actually help with weight control, and how do sweeteners affect the body and brain across different individuals? Okay. They did a little small study. They did a little small study. Okay, I'm pay. Okay, a team conducted a randomized search study to measure how sucralose influences brain activity, hormone levels, and feelings of hunger. While past studies, mainly in animals or based on population data, have suggested a link between artificial sweeteners and obesity. A few have directly tested how these sweeteners impact hunger in humans. And that's what they should be doing rather than testing it on animals. The team tested how 75 participants responded after consuming water, a drink sweetened with sucralose, or a drink sweetened with regular sugar. They collected functional magnetic resonant reson, reson, resonance imaging, or MRI, brain scans, blood samples, and hunger ratings before and after participants consumed the drink. They found that sucralose increased hunger and activity in the hypothalamus, especially in people with obesity. It also changed the way the hypothalamus communicated with other brain regions. Unlike sugar, sucralose did not increase blood levels of certain hormones that create a feeling of fullness. Let's see. All right. Coming on down, it says the body uses these. Let me see. If your body is expecting a calorie because of the sweetness but doesn't get the calorie, it's expecting that could change the way the brain is primed to crave those substances over time. The team also analyzed the effects of sugar consumption had on the brain. finding it led to increases in blood sugar and hormones that regulate it, including insulin and glucagon like peptide or GLP-1. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Now look, my laptop been plugged up for over a week, and I got a thing saying the battery low. I don't lost my footing, my reading. Okay, researchers have now begun a follow-up study that explores how calorie-free sweeteners affect the brains of children and adolescents who consume more sugar and sugar substitutes than any other age group. They also highlight the long-term studies are required to understand how sucralose affects the brain over a longer period of time. And we've already discussed the World Health Organization on sugar substitutes. Replacing free sugars with NSS does not help the weight control in the long term. People need to consider other ways to reduce free sugars intake, such as consuming food with naturally occurring sugars, like fruit or unsweetened food and beverages. Okay, y'all. We've already talked about that. We need to, like I say, the Splenda, the what else is there? I'm just gonna say the yellow pack, the blue pack, and the pink pack. We need to do away with those and find honey. And you have plenty of fruit to choose from, but also for those of us who are diabetics or borderline diabetics, be wise when choosing your fruit. You know, like watermelon, bananas, they have a high, a high sugar, high levels of sugar, you know what I'm saying, high levels of sugar in it. So and you also want to make sure that you look at portion control. I think that's a big problem for a lot of us. I'm just going to be honest. It's portion control. You don't This is the portion, this is the size of what meat should be. A serving of meat should be like. Now, sugar, like I said, I used that quart of that jar of honey that I showed on my channel, or in my video rather, on Valentine's Day. That's gone. And so that let me know that even though that's a natural sweetener, I'm using way too much sugar, y'all. I'm and I'm not heavy handed at all, but that just lets me know. Well, I wasn't the only person using the honey. Um, my husband was using it as well to in my coffee or whatever. He doesn't use honey. He rather use the yellow pack. He wants to stick with the artificial sweeteners. So um yeah. So like I said, we need to just be a little bit more cautious about it. And I've come across a lot of articles dealing with artificial sweeteners and things like that. And I I what I do, I sit back and I look at my little nephew. I look at both of them, and um I'm careful about what I give baby nephew, because children start becoming addicted to sugar at a very early age. So